The question is that the House to now adjourn. I call the honourable member for Blaxland.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. Of all the terrible things in the budget, and there's plenty of them, I think the $7 tax to go to the doctor would have to be the worst. We have in Australia one of the best health systems in the world. And one of the reasons we have one of the best health systems in the world is because if you get sick, you know you'll be looked after, regardless of how rich or how poor you are. Making people pay $7 to go to the doctor throws a grenade into that system. It means that people will decide whether or not to go to the doctor based upon whether they can afford to, rather than whether they're sick. And I know this, Madam Speaker, because I can see it having an impact in my electorate even before this has been introduced. In the week after the tax was announced in the budget, visits to the doctor in my electorate dropped by about 1/3. That's the advice of local doctors, local GPs in my electorate. And why has this happened? It happened because people thought the tax had already started. And doctors had to send out emails to their patient lists telling them that the tax hadn't started yet. Now, $7 doesn't sound like a lot of money to some people, but it is a lot of money to a lot of people in my electorate. And if you've got a few sick kids who need blood tests and x-rays, then the cost can ratchet up quickly. And these costs affect the decisions that people make. One mum came into my office and said that she's got 3 kids, and if the 3 kids get sick, she'll take one to the doctor and get a script and share it amongst the 3 kids. That's a real story, and I think that that should put dread into the hearts and the minds of any thinking member of Parliament. This is a tax that will encourage people to make bad decisions like that. It'll discourage people from going to the doctor. That's what the purpose of this tax is. The budget papers indicate that it expects to save money from 1 million fewer visits to the doctor every year. And by putting people off going to the doctor, it means that sick people will just get sicker. And where will this hurt most? Well, the answer to that question is Western Sydney. My electorate in Western Sydney has the second highest bulk billing rate in the country. 98.2% of visits to the doctor in my electorate are bulk billed. That means that when you go to the doctor, the only thing you pull out of your wallet or the only thing you pull out of your purse is your Medicare card. And that's the case right across Western Sydney. The top 10 bulk billing electorates across Australia are all in Western Sydney. That means that this tax will hit Western Sydney harder than anywhere else. The Prime Minister claims that Western Sydney is the new Liberal Party heartland. Well, this is how he repays Western Sydney, with a tax that will hurt them more than other parts of the country. Now, Madam Speaker, there's a lot of reasons why the budget is unpopular. The cuts to health, the cuts to education, the cuts to the pension, doubling of university degrees. But this is the big one. In the last few months, I've been holding street meetings across my electorate with a petition encouraging people to sign a petition against this tax. And whenever I do that, I get a queue of people lining up to sign the petition. Already, I've got more than 1,500 people who've signed this petition. Before I table it, there'll be more people that will sign it as well. People are angry about this. They're worried. They don't like it. This is a tax that's as popular as anthrax. It's little wonder that we heard nothing about this before the election. And, Madam Speaker, healthcare is a right. It's not a privilege. And it shouldn't be a privilege, shouldn't be thought of as a privilege for people who can afford it. Australia doesn't want a healthcare system like America, where it depends on how much money you have. If you're sick, you should be looked after, whether you're rich or whether you're poor. Now, this is a bad tax. And so I urge the government to listen to the people of my community, to listen to the people of Western Sydney, to listen to the stories of people right across Australia and ditch this bad tax.